Hey YouTube, how you doing? My computer drummer is steady and reliable. This is Mike in Detroit. I wanted to thank everybody who tuned in to my rootless left-hand voicing video. It was very well received, very popular, and in the key of C, for those of you who didn't see it, we came up with some rootless voicings for 251s. So we identified how we came up with those voicings, and then we put them to work in some 251s, and then finally into some songs. So we ended up with this kind of thing. I'm playing these bass notes with my right hand because it happens to be free. So I got a question. He said, hey Mike, that was great. And then we got the sixth chord. So I got that, Mike. Now I want to add some improv in my right hand. Now, I'm going to get you started on that. The right hand, what do you do? What do you do when this is going on? And before I start this, I have to do a disclaimer. Improvisation, especially in jazz, let me clear my throat, is a lifelong, university level endeavor. So don't bash me in the comments saying, that's all you covered. I just want to talk to my beginners, early intermediates, and just to get you started. Okay, just to get you started. There is a wealth of information out there on jazz improv. There are hundreds of skills you can learn, and techniques and patterns and transcriptions and licks and stuff like that. So we're not going there today. All we're doing is I got this left hand thing pretty good in at least a couple of keys. Okay, that was a good video, but I need to do something in my right hand while that's going on. And I don't want to jump into deep water, so can you give me some 2 feet water and maybe a little 3 feet water? That's what we're going to do here. Okay, so in my mind, I did not go to music school, so I cheat. I look for ways to simplify what I'm thinking about. So I do know that in the C family, there are all kind of scales associated with different chords. So if I did C diatonic harmony, for example, I'm going to play some kind of C chord, right? I'm going to do it in my right hand. So that's a C major 7 chord. It's every other note in the scale. And the appropriate scale for that is C major. If I went to the 2 chord, at least in Western harmony, that's a minor chord, right? And the textbook is going to tell me that's D Dorian. It's a C scale starting on D. And so forth. They got a name for every last one of these. Phrygian, Mixolydian. So I cheat. If it's in this C family, if it's one of those chords, I'm looking for Mama. Mama is the C scale because it's the same notes, only it just starts on a different. So if I was on a 3 chord, my right hand is thinking C major. If I'm on an F chord, all of these chords that are in the C family can work with this C major scale. So here's your first exercise. So in the key of C, we play the 2 chord, and so somebody will tell you, well, you play the Dorian scale. No, I won't do that. Play the C scale. Play Mama. Go find Mama and play Mama. Then it gets to a G chord. Somebody will say play G Mixolydian. Nope. Just go find Mama and play Mama. And then one, now we're at mama, but in my right hand, I was thinking mama the whole time. Let's try it. Let me put on a little drum machine. Okay, so you do that a lot. In my right hand, I only touch white notes or the C scale. Are there more things I could do? Oh, but you better believe it. Remember, improv is a lifetime activity. And there are very sophisticated things you can learn, but I'm just trying to get your feet wet. I got you in 1 foot, 2 feet water here in your right hand. Now, I will say this from my own perspective. Your rhythm and your phrasing and your feel is more important than your notes. Now, I don't know. Drop it in the comments if you don't agree with me. So let's listen to this drummer here. Da, 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 do, 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 da, do, 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 do. So you want to lock into that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Get the idea? You want to groove with your bandmates, with the backing track you got, or in this case I got a drummer. Even if it's just a metronome, you want to get that feel. Now, you might be dealing with a different feel. Maybe it's more of a ballad, or maybe it's more of a... Luckily, I have lots of computer stuff here, and on my keyboards, I can call up different kind of feels. I can call up a bossa nova if I wanted to, or in this case, it's a jazz swing kind of feel. Let's talk about that just for a second. In straight rhythm, there is... Okay, so you count to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Straight rhythm. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. But jazz swing is not like that. Jazz swing is 1, 2. It's like more like that. Long, short, long, short, long, short, long, short, long, like that. So that's another thing to get in your right hand as the chords are going by. So that's a practice. That's a practice. Practice swinging. The other thing is, like speaking, phrasing is also important. Like speaking, nobody wants to hear run-on sentences when you're talking to them. They want you to take a breath. They want to absorb it a little bit. And you have your left hand in rhythm as well. So let's just listen to the left hand. I'm coming right on the beat. I'm playing these on beats. I was a little behind on that. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Now let's get off the beat. Boom. 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 Came in on the beat on that one. See, so your left hand can swing as well. Your left hand is not locked into static 1, 2, 3, 4. So there is this interplay between your left and your right hand, at least for us beginner early intermediates. Let's try it. So your hands shouldn't fight each other, is what I'm trying to say. So here comes my drummer. Left hand, now right hand. So they can play together. But there's interplay between the hands that meshes those two up, which means your right hand has to take breaks. It has to phrase. It has to make a statement. Maybe it's like they're talking to each other. Like, okay, I just said something. Now, I'm not a big fan of licks. I don't know any licks. Don't want to know any licks. Because in my mind, that handcuffs me to remember 10,000 licks. And I'm too old to remember that kind of stuff. I just want a free play. Now, I understand I'm not knocking licks. There are hundreds of them out there that are pretty good. They'll tell you learn the jazz language and learn it. If you just copy the jazz language. But if I know where my palette is, I know that I can play any old white note here or anything in the C scale. Well, I can just relax and just see what happens. I don't know what I'm going to play. I have no idea. Maybe depends on. So that's another tip for us beginners and intermediates, that you don't have to learn 9,000 scales. Just get your parent scale, what I call mama. Get your parent scale and let's work with that until we get that down real good. Then next year you can get out your advanced improv theory book and learn all these different. But you'll be fine with just this. Okay, another tip for your right hand. If you wouldn't sing it, don't play it. So in other words, you don't want to go, nobody's going to sing that. So close work. Every now and then you move up and you got that call and response thing. But most of the time, 90% of the time, you're going to be in close work, which means you're going to be sticking around each other. In other words, I can sing that da 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 da. Okay, so the more higher I get, so let's talk about mood a little bit. The higher I get on my instrument, the more excitement I'm going to create. The lower I get, the more mellow I'm going to get. So I can create this sensation of tension and release. If I want excitement, I'm going to get up here. If I want release, I'm going to get more in the middle of the keyboard. And when I'm improvising, I want both. I want that roller coaster feeling of, or that dolphin feeling of I'm going up and down. So far, I've only had to learn the C scale too. And then I paired my left hand with the video that we saw last time, rootless left hand voicings. My bass player's down there thumping away. I got it going on. Okay, so take a breath, use phrasing, and just get a scale down, and that's a good starting point for you. Okay, so here's another tip. Keep your place. Don't lose yourself in a song. Let's say I'm playing, I don't know, let's say I'm playing a 2-5-1. I should know I'm on a 2 chord. I should hear when the 5 chord. I'm not going to get so lost in my improv that I don't know where I am. My left hand needs to know where I am. So now I'm on the 1 chord. So my right hand needs to know I'm on the 1 chord. Let's bring this improv into the station. But if I went to the 3 chord, my right hand knows we're not going to the station. Now what I just did there, what was I on the 5 chord? I did that. That's a good technique because I'm repeating. Repeats are good in improv. So let's see if I can demonstrate, at least at a basic level, what repeats sort of sound like. Now repeats can be note repeats or they can be rhythmic repeats. So there I kind of did a note repeat. But there's a rhythm, da 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 da. That's a repeat. That's a rhythm. That's a rhythm. Da 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 da. So I can actually repeat the rhythm and change the notes. Good thing to do. Okay. Now, the other thing I want, so we got mama scale, the C scale. I can do that in pretty much any key I want, as long as I know that parent scale of that key. Okay, so I want to add just one thing, and now this is an ad for us beginners, and this is kind of work on it if you're intermediate. But if you're really a raw beginner, you can turn off the video right now. Because just work with the major scale until you get that groove going on. But if you're a little bit intermediate, then what I want to add is chord tones to your improv. So here's what I want you to do, just to get you started. Remember, this is not an exhaustive treatise on improv at all. Not even trying to be. So we have a 2 chord here, right? We want to know the chord tones of that 2 chord, so we're going to take our right hand and play an arpeggio to the 9th, right? 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Now we're going to go down here and do the same on the G chord. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. And we're going to do the 1 chord. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Let's get some drums going, and there is a practice. So let me get the drums on. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll put a little rhythm on that. Now here we got that A7. Now let's track that A7. Come A. That's the 3rd. That's the 5th, and major 7, and the 9th. So now we got all of them. We got right. Now we got this one. So find the chord tones, whether you're playing a 2-5-1 or your song, your favorite song, or whatever it is, and then work on these, work through these chord tones from the root position, and now after a while you don't have to be on the root position. You can, as long as it's a chord tone, you can play it. See, that time I didn't start on the root, but I started on here, but it certainly is a chord tone. So I'm now improvising using chord tones. Now when I get to this A7 here, I can, as long as it's a chord tone, I can do it. So I'm going to force myself. Let me put my drums back on just so I can show you what I mean. I'm going to force myself to improvise using chord tones only. You start off with the root going up, but then after a while, you just, as long as it's a chord tone, you can play it. The idea, and that takes a while. That's going to take maybe some weeks, a few days to kind of get those chord tones under your fingers. In any old inversion, you just hit them at will. One more thing for your intermediates. Once you have your chord tones, now you can do things like approaching a chord tone or enclosures around a chord tone. Let me explain what that is. So now I'm on a D minor chord. I know my chord tones are to the ninth, right? So now, given the beat that I'm on, I can approach any one of those chord tones by a half step. I happen to like half step down. So my rule, I cheat. I told you I cheat all the time. My rule is a half step down into this D or a scale tone up. So anytime I want to play D, I can play a chromatic, that kind of thing. Down is a chromatic tone, but up is a scale tone, whereas the nearest scale tone to D is E. What's the next chord tone in D? Well, there it is. So remember, here's my chord tone. All the way up to the ninth. So let's say I'm targeting F. Half tone down, scale tone up. So far I got this. Or this. Chromatic down, scale tone up. Around the note I'm targeting. What's my next one? Here's that A is in the chord. Actually, the left hand is telling you what the chord tones are, except for this one. Just add that, you got it. So now so half tone, a chromatic down, scale tone up. Got that going on. So first thing to do is identify these enclosures around the chord tones. Well, the first thing is to get the chord tones, and then the next thing is to identify these enclosures. And then here is no. And then we're going to the ninth, so that's this. So we got them all. Let's improvise with that. So here we go. So I'm going to get all the enclosures around every last chord tone. Now, what beat I land on the chord tone matters. I don't want to land on a strong beat on that note. It's going to sound awful. It's going to, But if I go like I'm skipping into D, that, clearly I'm not trying to target that note. That's just an approach note. Practice that. Down, chromatic down, scale tone up. Now I need F. Now make sure you put a little swing on it. Get the idea? So that is about as far as I want to take you as beginners in intermediate improv. So you got your left hand chord, you got your left hand voicing down, you got a little swing, bow, down. You got this, feel it. Here we go. Mama. Now, you notice that I was deviating from a lot of what I just taught you. So I didn't do it exactly right. Well, that's what improv is about. So I meant to play this, but I ended up playing this or that or this or whatever. So play it. If you play a wrong note, play it again. It confuses the heck out of the audience. Now let me do an improv which proves to you that if you got good rhythm and good phrasing, it's almost impossible to play the wrong note. So I'm going to get my drummer going again. My left hand's cooking, right? This time I'm going to go to the 3 chord, to the 6 chord. I'm going to try to play bad notes. Run-on sentence. Awful. Awful. Don't let that stun you. So if you hear a wrong note in your head, don't let that make a ooh, ooh, and throw you off your groove. One other thing for you intermediates, sprinkle in some triplets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Those are a regular swing, but a triplet is da 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 da. Let me sprinkle some of those in, and then. Okay, I approach that. Another. I was doing how to do triplets. Triplet, triplets. Triplet play. A lot of triplets there. Again, this is, okay, drummer, I got you. This is for getting you started, having you something to do with that left hand that we learned, that so many of you learned. There are almost 1,000 people viewed that video, which I'm very grateful for. Now let's do some stuff in the right hand. Let's get this right hand going. And is it all inclusive treatise on how to improv? Of course not. Of course not. But it's enough to get you going with your major scale of that key, the chord tones of that chord, and then some approach strategy. One of the most used, if you want to call it a lick, is into chromatic into the, I'm on a 2 chord, chromatic and then arpeggio. That is probably the most used lick that I've heard. Now you can memorize that lick, or you can say, well, I just went down. Once I got here, I played an arpeggio and back down, and I did the same thing here. Sophisticate that a little bit. I can go, you can actually do, I don't like that. I like that a lot better. Just shorten it up a little bit. These are practice strategies that at least get you in the game. Now the main thing is, as I said at the beginning of this video, is at least know the groove that you're playing in. And there's a song back in the 60s, don't forget the groove. Don't forget the groove. So we are using a swing groove here too. We gotta really feel that. Stay on this chord. So we're on a D minor chord. And see what you come up with. Recognize some of those moves that I was telling you about. Alright, so if this was helpful, it was a little bit hodgepodge, I know, kind of threw a little bit of hodgepodge at you, but I think, I hope I answered the question for beginners and intermediates is, Mike, I got this left hand that you taught us, but I need to supplement that with something to do in my right hand. Let me know down in the comments whether or not this was helpful for you, or if you have any questions at all. Mike in Detroit, signing off. Happy practicing. See you. Bye-bye.